Hello and welcome back once again to our weekly prediction show. Now, we seriously thought about, maybe not even rolling this because the guy to the far left of me, as some of you may have seen, he let everybody know through his social media, and everyone here at the All Out Rugby League team know that he was smugly correct with not only his team but the actual scoreline as well. Matt, jump in.
Yeah, I'm a humble man, so I won't go on much about it. But basically, if you ever doubted me, prove that you should just listen to me moving forward because I know my stuff. 22-14. You and Rads both went for Leigh as well. I was the only one who went for Leeds and got the scoreline right. Thanks for coming. And now you've got some serious chasing to do.
Yeah, you sound very humble there.
I
must admit.
I don't brag. I'm not a bragger.
Well, look, we've got plenty of games to get through. We'll focus on the game of the week at the very, very end, where we do want you guys at home, obviously, to chip in and give us your thoughts, predictions, winners. But do not, again, forget to like and subscribe, as well as letting us know all of your comments as well. But before we get into that, let's reflect on last week's game. Leeds.
Great win for Leeds. Great. It was a good game, wasn't it? Just a tough game. I like Leeds. I think they're a really good team. Leigh are as well. But Leeds can tough out those attritional games. I think better than Leigh can, actually. I think Leeds are better at it. Which is why I think if any team's going to topple KR or Wigan, I've got Leeds. I think they're the best attritional team, barring those two.
Longy, Leigh dominated the opening exchanges in that game. Leigh they've gone from being the form team to now just, they're just not. I mean, look, they got the late win against Warrington, but are they having a blip at the wrong time of the year? Or is it a good thing to maybe come up with one or two short performances ahead of the playoffs?
No, I don't think they're having a blip. I think they've beat all the top three teams prior to that and going into Warrington. Warrington was up for that game.
They were good, weren't they?
They were good, Warrington. And Warrington had a lot of good ball, peppering their line. And Leigh just repelled them and then went down the end and scored. I think the back five are outstanding for Leigh. Very good back five. Young kids as well, full of energy. And I thought you can't take nothing away from Leeds. Leeds are a very good team. They know how to stay in the ground and play the long game and go set for set, and they'll just kind of crush you. With Leigh, I think it's kind of good that they've lost because maybe you start believing your own hype and think, well, we beat these men. We beat these men. So actually, again, an uppercut off a team like Leeds is not a bad thing.
And that's what I was sort of referring to. I was like, I think, sometimes it is okay just to get one landed on the chin metaphorically, for bigger games ahead. But, we touched up on our back 10 show. You've been very impressed with Leeds, haven't you? What is it that's been most impressive for you this season under Brad Arthur again?
Their resilience as a team, how they defend. They play the long game. They'll go set for set for set. They don't mind staying in the ground for as long as it takes. They'll go 10-minute cycle, ball in play. They will do that and they don't get bored. And then they'll just squeeze the life out of you. I think, and they're a good team. They're willing to work hard for each other, and that's what I think is the difference this year for Leeds.
So, Matt, this will be the last time I mention it. As you rightly pointed out, you got the correct score, you got the correct team. Yes, you did. So, let's have a look at the league table. And as it stands, Matt, you are sat top of the pile with 7 points. I'm on 2, and our guest is on 1. Kevin Brown with a single point. We've had Adrian Morley registered none. Chris Radlinski last week registered none. So no pressure on you, Longy, but when we get to the game of the week, let's hope we can tap into probably the smartest of our guests' rugby league IQ and see if he can come up with the answers for this week's game of the week, which of course is Wigan at home to Hull KR. Massive clash at the top of the Betfred Super League there. But for now, let's dive into the rest of the games. Warrington, Catalan, I was at that game against Huddersfield, and it's both teams really just... They are falling in that bracket now where they just want the next 6 games out of the way and put out the misery and go again, isn't it?
Yeah, they're not very good. It's as simple as that. Warrington have played well the last 2 weeks. Lost. You expect them to play poor here, don't you, Warrington? Because that's just what they've done all year. When played well in the big games, not so much in the less, but they'll still have too much for for Catalans, so it'll be a Warrington win for me.
Longy, is that a bit of a weird mentality that Warrington now, pretty much the season done, have started to find performances? Is that a bit of a negative mindset for that playing group when really they should have been doing it weeks earlier?
Yeah, I do think they could have been doing it weeks earlier, but they've just been decimated with injuries. You look at the team with, the young kids have just been playing. Like Guards' son played the other day.
Yeah.
He had a real good game. Yeah, I know, pretty mad that. But, the young kids, a lot of young kids have played. I don't know how many players have played for that, squad numbers, but that'd be a lot. That would be a lot. And it's just injuries what they've had for me. I think they'll keep fighting till the end, and they'll be thereabouts, and they could jag a few wins and be in the mix for that 6th spot. I'm not ruling them out yet.
Right. So Warrington, Catalan. Fair to say you're going Warrington for that. What you've just said, Matt.
Yeah, Warrington.
Yeah, I'm going to go Warrington as well. Not really seeing too much of the Dragons. He's got a tough job on his hand there, Joel Tompkins, hasn't he? Young coach in a different country and running they are still a big team, aren't they? Catalan Dragons, they're not.
Though.
Yeah.
Charles Danes is a decent pickup.
Yeah. Castleford v Leeds, interesting. West Yorkshire derby.
Nothing interesting about this for me. Leeds win comfortably.
Cass have a crack though, don't they?
They do.
Cass as well.
But we've said from the start there's one good performance and one bad performance. It's a consistency thing, isn't it? And it has been one off, one on for 2-3 months. They played pretty well against Hull KR, even though they got beat comfortably, but off performance incoming. So Leeds.
Longy.
Yeah, they seem to go all right at home, don't they? They actually have a right dig in front of the fans. I'm just thinking it'd be tighter than what I think.
Yeah.
I think you've probably go Leeds easy, but I'm actually thinking it's going to be close and I'll go Leeds.
Yeah, I'm going to agree exactly with you there, Longy. I don't think it'll be a runaway score, but, given where Leeds are at, I think Leeds go there and take the win. A really interesting game Saturday afternoon. Hull FC take on Leigh. Hull FC, I asked John Cartwright the question. They had a week off and then they roll against, a very, we've already touched on Salford and their troubles. They roll through that. It becomes probably a training sessions harder than that game, if I'm honest. And Longy, it's not ideal, is it, to have a week off, then have that kind of game, and then bearing in mind that you've got Wakefield breathing down your neck, then you've got an inform or a hurting sort of Leigh Leopards coming.
Yeah. I just a bit sketchy on their home form this year. For the last 12 months, they've only won
two games. The second win, they beat Wakefield in round 18, I think.
And they're actually playing really good footy. I think Caesar's playing really well. And the winger Martin. So they've got some good players. It will be tight, but I think Leigh will get back on track.
Matt?
I'm with Leigh. Just because of Hull's home form, we can't read anything into the weekend. They've struggled at home all season. And Leigh, I don't think they played that bad against Leeds. I thought they played better against Leeds than they did Warrington, to be honest.
They need to bounce back, don't they?
They need to bounce back. So, yeah, I'm going Leigh.
Look, it's almost pointless this week because we're all just agreeing with each other, aren't we? But I think Leigh get over the line. And you mentioned there Lewis Martin. I've been so impressed with him. We've got some fantastic wingers at the moment. Could he be possibly a shout for playing for England, Longy? I think he's right up there, and his form's brilliant.
Yeah, I think the two Hull KR wingers have been outstanding in Burgess and Davis, and I think he's a real gem in Martin. I think he's got everything. Size, aerial threat, good yardage carry, can finish a try.
Was he named in the squad early on? So no Martin, no Burgess, no Davis.
None of them were.
Interesting.
Matty Ashton was, but he's going to be out.
Yeah.
There's a wing spot for grabs in there. You'd think he'll pick Dom Young. You'd think, because he's in the squad. Liam Marshall's in the squad. But it seems to me...
I really like Liam Martin, mate. I think he's excellent. Whether he's ready yet now or what, I don't know, but definitely one for
England
the future.
player in the future.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Do you know what you should do with the England team? I think you should blood a young kid coming through. I did it when I was a kid, when I was 97. I was only 21, and I wasn't really ready, but Andy Goodway put me in the squad in 97, and I was part of the squad, and I ended up playing on the bench in the second and third test. But it was just a awakening for me, and it was really good for my development, to be in that setup. So I think you should always do that with one player.
Great story, that, isn't it? Hey?
Yeah.
Look, moving on. St Helens v Huddersfield. I'll jump first. Look, again, I think we're all going to be in agreement again here, aren't we? I think St Helens, that performance that they played against Wakefield, I thought, however, George Delaney, how he stayed on the field is beyond me. That's a stonewall red card all day long.
That's the most red card we've seen all season.
Look, you know, I couldn't believe that he didn't get sent off. Look, anyways, like I say, Saints, they'll go marching on this week, won't they? And they'll get over the top of Huddersfield.
I expect this to be a closer game than maybe we think.
Oh, really?
I think Huddersfield are a little bit better than we think. And then the league table suggests. And they've won 2 on the bounce now, I think. And throw in the fact that Saints will be without Sirenan failed his HIA, surely Delaney's going to get a ban. They got another injury at the weekend as well. I can't remember who, but they got. So they'll have a few out. I'm still going Saints win, but I think it maybe be a little bit closer than people would expect.
Yeah, Saints win all day, mate.
Yeah. Oh. Right then, I've got the pleasure of once again of being at this weekend's game, Salford v Wakefield. Again, we're all just going to agree all the way here. But perhaps the last game, the game of the week, might divide our opinion. But look, lads, Wakefield, yeah.
Oh yeah, there's no point.
Yeah, easy. Yeah. All right, we'll move on. Game of the week. So to remind us at home once again. I keep forgetting every single week how the point system works, but seeing as though he's finished his humble pie, Matt, can you explain to us again the point system, please?
I can guarantee that the audience knows the scoring system better than you do. This is just a reminder for you.
Too many bags on the head, I think.
It's 1 point if you get the right team, 3 points if you get the right margin of victory, 5 points if you get the right scoreline.
Right. Okay, so do let us know at home. Remember, we need you to like and subscribe so you do not miss anything in the world of rugby league that comes out of All Out Rugby League. Let us know the comments below, your score predictions, your team, and the margin, so you at home can join in on our points. Don't forget, Matt sits at the top with 7, I'm on 2, and our guest is on 1. Longy, one of the smartest brains arguably ever to play the game. Wigan v Hull KR. It's first against second. How do you see this one going?
Very, very tight.
It's going to be great, isn't it?
It's going to be a great game. Like a war, I think. I hope they just bash each other. I'm not too sure whether French is fit. I think it might be a week too early. Farriman's injured. So they're probably going to have to move Adam Kieran into the halves and put Zach in the centre. Which then, it kind of like, it's not as strong, is it? But do you know what? I fancy Wigan at home. I fancy Wigan at home by 2.
Wigan by 2. Give us a score then, Longy.
I'm going to go 18-16. But I don't... this is my point. Is like, okay, I don't miss many goal kicks.
No.
Do you know what I mean? With Artur Morgan.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable.
They've got Artur Morgan, then they've got Reece Martin, haven't they? So it's like, it's... which is strange, wasn't it? Because Reece Martin was almost brought in, amongst other attributes he's got for that kicking. And, Artur Morgan's been...
Cooler you like to be in that define. I'm going to do 18-16 Wigan. 18-16, Sean Long. Matt?
For some reason, I'm the same. Wigan haven't been playing great. Not as well as they can do.
I think they'll be without Bevan French. I think Luke Thompson will play.
Big return.
Everything, you should think it'd be Hull KR, but I've just got a feeling Wigan will win. I'm the same. Wigan have won 4 in a row against Hull KR as well. Is there some mental barriers that Hull KR have to get over there? When you bear in mind they've barely lost a game in the last 12 months, but they've lost 4 times to Wigan. I think there's some mental. There's a mental factor in that as well.
I like that one, Matt.
If I'm not wrong, they've lost 5 games in the last 13 months, and 4 to Wigan.
Wow.
Oh no, they lost to Leigh as well, so 6. But still, I'm exactly the same as Longy. I've got Wigan by 2. I'm going 14 points to 12.
Ooh.
Right. Well, look. I'm gonna go the other way. I think Hull KR go there. I think they learn the lessons from those defeats. I do believe that the mentality of the club and where Willie Peters is at, I do believe that he'll be telling them the story. It's their time. I think back to the time when I was obviously at St Helens and we lost the Challenge Cup final to Warrington the year before. We got beat 2018 when we probably felt that we would deserve the place in the grand final. you have to lose a couple before you then really start to believe, and when it's your time, then go. And I think Hull KR might just have that little bit between the teeth. This is a massive game for them. If they lose this game, and of course we mentioned that, you know, some of Hull KR's remaining fixtures, and just think maybe mentally what that could do to them if they lose this game. I just think the stakes are too high, and I think they have to get the job done. I do agree. Again, I think it's going to be a very, very tight game. I will go with a 16-12 win to Hull KR.
Very close.
Very close, very close. So who will be eating humble pie come the end of this round? Will it be Sean Long? Will it be Matt Shaw once again? Or will it be myself? We'll find out. Thanks again for joining us on this week's show. Remember, like and subscribe, and do let us know your thoughts on all of this week's action. Goodbye for now.